Third big mistake in 360 car photography in 22 is the distance from the car. I will do a little bit of demonstration here as well. So as you can see, the distance from the car on the top right, you have ultra wide angle. The good thing about ultra wide angle will permit you to have reduced distance. So here, I'm going to just do 1, 2, 3 steps. So I'm only 3 steps from the car, where if I am doing with other lens, let's say like a wide angle, in this case, I have an iPhone 13, I have to actually have more setback. And again, the lighting adjustments is once again different. I'm going to move the ISO all the way in, and this seems good. Okay, but the distance is very important. It might think in the first thought that, well, obviously, if I can do ultra wide and get closer for capture, it is a much better option, but that is not true. The challenge with ultra wide is that as you go around the car, so let's look at this screen here. As you see, you get close to it, you create this perspective that makes it very unrealistic for capture. So if you're doing ultra wide, you want to have a certain distance so that the proportion of the car doesn't create that extra perspective, which many people don't like it. If it is something you're doing at, let's say, a sport car, that might be a positive point. But in general, for typical 360 car photography, this is not a good option. So what we typically recommend is to try to have your distance on a wide angle if you're using an iPhone, or the standard lens if you're using any iPhone before iPhone X, and try to use a tele lens or a standard lens on Android phone if you're using an older model. So the distance from the car is also very important. Obviously, if you're in larger cities where there's not much real estate and you have really limited, so the ultra wide could be the only option. But then what you can do, instead of, let me change this to ultra wide. So instead of starting with a point like this, let me adjust the ISO, yeah, and as you go around from the side, as you get to the edge, you could slightly go closer, so that as you're walking, you will be walking in a more of an oval shape instead of a circle, so that that helps you get closer to when you get to the site, because you will have less perspective, and then you can have a little bit more distance when you get to the corner. So you can walk in an oval shape as well when you're using especially our app Glow 3D. But I would assume this would apply to any other app that you're using for 360 photography.